Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah.
Hey, I want to make this video today for two reasons. One, I just made a new intro and I want to be able to use it. And two, I get so angry and I want to address all this anti-gun garbage that comes from the left every day. And today I want to address one thing in particular that's been really sticking in my craw lately. I keep hearing people my age range saying, oh, it's such a shame today that these kids are being emotionally damaged by having to go through shooter drills. We didn't do that when we were kids. We weren't afraid of that. We didn't have to worry about that. All we had was tornado drills. And I'm like, well, you know, tornadoes are pretty freaking scary. Didn't they just kill like a couple of dozen people? If they'd have killed 8 people or 3 people with a handgun, it would have been the national news tonight, all night long. But since it was just a couple of dozen people by a tornado, you know, it's a side story. But they're like, all we had was tornado drills. Well, I want to call out BS on that. Because we had way more than tornado drills when I was a kid. If you're my age and you say that, you're full of garbage. And plus saying the thing about them being emotionally damaged, they shouldn't have to do that. Well, they don't have to do that. Because you're the ones scaring them. Because you're the ones that are inflating risk to fulfill your own prophecy. You are inflating risk and frightening children to further your own agenda. If you were honest with kids about how this is not likely to happen to you at all. It's a 1 in a million thing. And if it did happen, you know, there's things we could do to prevent it. Physical security measures, arming a teacher, etc. Your teachers will take care of you. If you actually did the right things, they wouldn't have to be afraid at all. But it's more beneficial to you for them to be afraid. So I don't want to hear that garbage because that's you doing that. I mainly want to address the whole thing is we didn't have to go through that when we were kids. Because we did. When we were kids, we didn't go through active shooter drills because back then, when something was a 1 in a million chance, we didn't really make a lot of to-do about it. You know, active shooter situations existed. Active killer, I like to call them, situations existed. School shootings happened in the 60s and the 70s. Some of the most famous ones happened in the 60s and 70s. We didn't make a big deal out of it because it wasn't likely to happen to us, so we didn't see any reason to do it. We didn't try to further an agenda by using children as tools like the left does now. And I'm not saying the right doesn't use children as props or tools, because they do sometimes. But in this case, the left uses them and actually damages them to fulfill their own agenda here. So when I was a kid, like I was saying, we didn't go through the shooting drills. And another reason we didn't go through them was because I guarantee about half the teachers at the school had rifles in their trucks. And I guarantee you a few of them had either handguns or rifles somewhere in the school. When I was a kid, we could take our hunting rifles to school and leave them in an office building or a closet in the office after we got to school, and then take them with us later when our parents picked us up to go hunting. Schools weren't these self-defense free zones then that they are now. They weren't gun-free zones, or I like to say victims-only zones that they are now, so we didn't have to worry. And we didn't. But you know what we did go through? Nuclear drills. Anyone in my age grade or age range should remember hiding under your desks or having to rush to the basement of the school for drills every couple of months and being told at any moment we could all die in a nuclear hailstorm. We could be just bombed off the face of the planet by the Russians. They're coming to get us at any moment. At any moment, you might have to get under your desk and kiss your ass goodbye because you're going to die in a firestorm of nuclear fury. We went through that all the time as kids. So where are you getting this? We didn't go through stuff like this. I think nuclear disaster is worse than 1 or 2 people getting shot. And we had to live through that every day. You know what? And we weren't damaged by it. Because we weren't being told by people trying to promote an agenda that you have to be damaged and you have to be scared. That way, that gives us a reason to do what we want to do. So for those of you out there who keep saying, oh, we didn't go through this and kids are being damaged. Yeah, they're being damaged because you're intentionally damaging them, to, like I said, to promote your agenda. And that doesn't have to happen. Start doing what's right for the schools. Start giving the schools more money for security and more money for guards and maybe even arming teachers if you're so worried about school shootings. And another thing is, stop saying that we didn't do stuff like that when we were kids, because we did. And we weren't damaged by it because we weren't forced into being damaged by it. We weren't being used as pawns. So stop using children as pawns, because everything you're saying is wrong. We did go through things just like they're going through. We went through worse things. We just didn't get damaged by it because we weren't intentionally damaged by it. And we didn't make big deals out of nothing. So if you want your kids to not be damaged, then start doing the right things and start making real changes and stop intentionally damaging your children just to promote your agenda.
Oops.
Go ahead. It's the lady at 46 South Road. 46 South Road.
One call, retone that, please. 10-4. Got the floor to go to that location. This is 1-9, is that correct?